These are my best teams for the new Super Treasure map versus Kaido. Versus the Intrusion battle, we are going to use versus Luffy as captain, with the friend captain being the new Oiran Yamato. For this team, some supports and placements are extremely important, so let me explain. Rare Recruit Zoro and Pirate King Adventures Ace need to be in the bottom row so they get special cooldown reduction from Sanji's Sailor's ability, and Zoro also needs a support to provide him with his special back in the final stage. I am using Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week, but there are more options. Both Sanji and Zoro need to be limit broken, and Sanji also has a support to help him regain his special, Legend Pudding. For Ace, we are going to use a despair reducing support, specifically V2 Whitebeard, and the same on Luffy with V1 Rayleigh. So alongside maximum sockets, we can completely remove despair without a special in the final stage. Also make certain that you maintain one of your Wano slots when you enter the quest, so you can use it in stage 2 to break the barrier. We have access to Yamato's EX Super, we are going to gain Luffy's Versus ability, and we also need a full Free Spirit team. In stage 2 now, we want to activate Yamato's EX Super first. She will provide us with healing and the damage reduction shield. Then we want to activate her special to increase our damage by a lot, but also more importantly, remove pain completely. After that, we want to activate Luffy's special. You don't need to hit the excellent on the action special, you can also have it to be automatically skipped to save time. And Luffy not only establishes a territory over the Ace one, but can remove attack down as well, while also increasing our damage. Attack with a unit that has a Wano slot first to super easily defeat Ace after breaking his barrier. Into the final stage now, sockets will activate alongside V2 Whitebeard support on Ace and V1 Rayleigh support on Luffy to remove despair completely. Bind will be resisted because of our Luffy's captain ability before the despair is applied, so we're good to go there. And then Zoro will resist special bind, Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week will help him regain his special, alongside the Sanji Sailor ability because he's in the bottom row, and we want to activate him first to free everyone from special bind, provide one turn of special cooldown reduction, a chain boost and chain boundaries. Because of the Zoro special and the Sanji Sailor, we activate Ace, who has his special back now, and provides one extra turn of special cooldown reduction, the color affinity does not apply. And finally Sanji, who has his special back because of Zoro and Pudding support, to finally increase our damage and provide the remaining unit with their special back. I'm using Nami Carrot in this instance, so I can swap to Nami, decrease the resistance to int attacks a bit on Ace, and activate her to get better chain boundaries than the ones Zoro provided, so we can maximize damage because we can't manipulate our Wano slots, since I miss Yamato and I have to use her as friend captain. Do not forget to also activate Luffy's Versus ability to apply increased damage taken through immunity and defeat the Intrusion. Versus the Tobi Roppo miniboss, the only thing that is essential is the super evolution of Summer Boa Hancock. She evades the special rewind as captain, and we want to activate her to provide everyone else with their special back. Her special will also remove burn and provide us with a good enough chain boost to bypass the chain debuff, and then her super type manipulates the block slots without activating the interruption. For my team specifically, I will use a different strategy a bit, so I will activate Luffy here. We'll activate the interruption on purpose. We will get special rewinded again, and then we can regain our specials from the second Boa Hancock special. We have guaranteed matching slots because of Luffy of course, and an attack boost. And then after the second Boa activation, you can activate more specials for more damage, which is not necessary, and I mainly do this for the multiplier. You can also use free to play Straw Hats with Boa. The next mini-boss is Jack, and I will be using double versus Kaido here as captain, mainly for the multiplier. He's also an amazing captain, but if you miss him, using someone else that works like Bone Clay for example, and just using Kaido as a friend captain if you don't need him anywhere else is fine. We will activate Pirate King Adventures Arlong first to remove stun and decrease Jack's defense by 100% without activating any interruptions. Then comes Moria to remove the special bind from our captains and provide us end of turn damage to deal with resilience without removing it and activating the interruption. then Bone Clay for more damage, better slots, and to make him driven, so Kaido can provide us more damage. And finally comes Kaido, of course, for the full board of matching slots. The Wano slots help more than Bone Clay's slots in this case, and then his special and versus abilities just to increase damage. Super easily defeating Jack with the end of turn damage, of course, completely taking care of him. Versus Queen, we are going to use double Treasure Map Legend Hina as captain. Using her as friend captain only works fine, she's a good captain though. And then as captain you can use Atlas for example, or Treasure Map Luffy, or anyone else that boosts the team. For specials though, we need someone to deal with Special Bind after resisting it. That will be Treasure Map Summer Rare Recruit Robin for me. Deals with everyone's Special Bind. Then I am going to activate Atlas to reduce Queen's damage reduction. Then Hina to reduce Queen's defense completely. And of course, Hina can also increase our damage, so we can activate her for a second time, and also activate her super type as well. Make certain Brook and Luffy have maximum level limit break. Because Brook can deal with Threshold, you can activate him twice if necessary, and Luffy will deal with the remaining damage reduction after the Atlas special, provide our Q units with a matching slot, and also a color affinity boost, so we can have a super easy time defeating Queen by removing his defensive effects. Versus King, ideally we want to use the new legend of Momonosuke, Denjiro and Kinemon as friend captain. But if you cannot find a friend captain, you can use double Treasure Map Legend Luffy. Or if you don't have Luffy, use him as friend captain and then Treasure Map Legend Sanji, or even free-to-play Sai Luffy as captain to boost the team. First up, we want to super swap Carrot to Nami, so they remove their Special Bind and then we activate them to of course remove it from everyone else too, and also gain chain boundaries to deal with the chain debuff. If Burn is still active, they will also reduce it. If you have the new Momo legend, activate their super type and special. They will help increase our damage, manipulate slots to the ones that are essentially doing full damage, so Wano or TNT, and then also remove damage nullification. If you are not using them, make certain to use someone else to deal with damage nullification, like for example Sai free-to-play Sanji with maximum level limit break and double special activation. We also of course want to activate Luffy's special and super type to increase our damage even further, get rainbow slots. You can also activate more people for damage if you want and clear the quest. Versus the main boss, Kaido, we are going to use versus Luffy as captain with the friend captain Oira and Yamato once again. We need a full free spirit team, and there are two alternatives on how you can deal with the defensive effects in the final stage. You either try and hit the excellent from Luffy's action special and then activate Sanji. With Luffy's increased captain ability he will be able to completely remove them. But if you cannot do that, or you simply, just like me, want to automatically skip it to save time, you can use Sai free-to-play Frankie with maximum level limit break, so he can remove alongside Sanji the damage reduction and the defense up completely, and then use Treasure Map Rare Recruit Hyogoro support on Luffy, who was in the Metal Exchange a couple of months back, or any other support to help Sanji deal with Threshold completely for the full 7 turns. You can pick what suits you the best depending on what unit you have, but in stage 2 we want to activate Pirating Adventures Ace to manipulate the paralysis slots into matching and make certain to have reward Jinbe support on him, the Dex one, to lock all of our slots to matching for the final stage. Ace will also provide us with a color affinity boost for the remainder of the quest. And then we want to activate the EX Super and Special of Yamato to increase our damage and pick the chain lock, the low chain lock applied by Kaido, to completely remove. Then we want to activate Zoro as well to get a chain boost for the remainder of the quest and chain boundaries in this stage to easily bypass the chain debuff and super easily defeat Kaido for the first time. I will mention again, if you are using the Frankie and Treasure Map Rare Recruit Hyogoro support strategy or any threshold reducing support, you do not need to hit the excellent from Luffy's action special. If you don't, you need to hit it, and you also can replace Frankie with whatever you like. Whatever the case, after the preemptive you want to activate Luffy's versus ability first. It will increase our damage, apply increased damage taken through immunity, and then we want to activate Luffy's special so we can get a conditional attack boost, chain boundaries to bypass the chain debuff and apply territory, and then treasure map recruit Hyogoro in my case reduces 2 turns of threshold. Sanji comes after to completely remove threshold, reduce damage reduction and defense up, and then Frankie to completely remove the damage reduction and defense up that Sanji reduced. We have the full board of master slots and we are more than ready to easily defeat Kaido and clear the first ever Super Treasure Map main boss. These are my teams and strategies. Hopefully the guide helped you out. If it did, leave a like, I would really appreciate it. And if you want to ask any questions, I would be happy to help. Leave them in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.